everyone. So every now and again, we've been playing guitar a long time, you get stuck in one of those inevitable ruts. And if you're lucky, you come across a little gold nugget somewhere that pulls you out of that rut and gives you playing a whole new lease of life. And such a thing happened to me. Well, it happens to me quite regularly, but it happened about 10 years ago or so when I came across this idea. And I can't remember whether I discovered it by accident or whether I noticed someone else doing it. But I'm going to share with you in this video this one idea that really changed my playing and made it more interesting, a bit less scaly, and has kind of opened up the neck for loads of other possibilities. So this idea is very simple. You take any scale that's got 3 notes per string, say like a major scale, and it doesn't have to be one of these stretchy things. It could be a caged pattern, like where sometimes you've got 3 notes per string, sometimes you've got 2. It doesn't really matter too much. So the idea is simple, it's this. What we do is we take a scale and we're going to go for C major. We're going to go 8, 10, 12, 8, 10, 12, 9, 10, 12, 9, 10, 12, 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 13. And reverse 13, 12, 10, 13, 12, 10, 12, 10, 9, and again 12, 10, 8, 12, 10, 8. And it's very tempting to just run up and down the scale and improvise like that. And I've talked in my previous videos about sequences of notes where maybe you sort of skip a note, go back a note, skip a note, and so on, or threes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But we're still doing something quite predictable. So the idea is we take a major scale and we miss out occasionally the middle note of the 3 notes. So for example, we've got 8, 10, 12. I could miss the 10 out. So I've got 8, 12, then back to the 8, and then play up the scale. So you get same on the next string. So what I'm doing there is I'm going 8, 12, 8, run up the scale. Next string, 8, 12, 8, 10, 12. Next string, 9, 12, 9, 10, 12. Next string, 9, 12, 9, 10, 12. Then 10, 13, 10, 12, 13. And then same on the last string, 10, 13, 12, 10, 12, 13. You don't want to necessarily do this on every string. What I tend to do is I might run up the scale 1, 2, 3, 4 notes, and then maybe on the A string do this idea of missing out the middle note. And then maybe run up a couple of strings, do it again on the G maybe. And I think I'm doing legato mostly. Sometimes I do alternate picking. It really doesn't matter. Now let's imagine that we're doing a scale where we don't have 3 notes per string all the time. Again, you just pick and choose the strings you want to do this on. So for example, here's a caged pattern that fits over the E-shaped bar chord. 8, 10, 7, 8, 10, 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 10, 8, 10, 7, 8, 10. So I could do that here. I could go. Or you could even go and borrow notes from another pattern, so you can kind of move across the neck that way. Let's try something totally different pattern. So if we had the second pattern of the big stretchy shapes, which looks like this. 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 14, 10, 12, 14, 10, 12, 14, 12, 13, 15, 12, 13, 15. If you don't know these, check out my video, which I'll put a link to here, which shows you all the big stretchy major scale shapes. What we would do there, same idea, run up as many strings as you want, and maybe occasionally miss the middle note. Now you might think, what about coming down? So when I come down, let's go back to our original scale, the C major scale, starting from the 8th fret. Now I don't find this works as well descending. However, you can do what you want with it. I mean, you could go like this. You could go down the scale and then miss the middle note and then come back. And I just do it occasionally, and it just breaks up that kind of very linear, scaly sound that we're used to hearing. Now here's another idea for you. We can actually kind of reverse this whole concept. We can actually really milk the middle note. So we can do this. We can run up the scale and then go to the middle note instead of the first finger. So you get this. And then Now I think this might be a John McLaughlin lick. I'm pretty sure I learnt this from watching him, but you get this. 8, 10, 12. This hand loves this, by the way. I'm doing strict alternate picking. You don't have to, but it works really well. Let me show you what I'm doing there. I'm actually borrowing some notes from another pattern as well. So I'm going 8, 10, 12, then to the middle note, the 10th fret. And then I'm starting the scale on the A string, 8, 10, 12, 10 on the next string, then 9, 10, 12, 10, then 9, 10, 12. Here I'm going to borrow some notes. I'm going to go 10, and I'm going to go back to a previous pattern, 8, 10, 12, 10, 8. So we've got... So you can reverse this. You can go down the scale. Let's go from here. Which is where I go middle notes, middle notes, middle notes, middle note. So let's see what happens if I take the two ideas we've got, where we kind of miss the middle note or go to the middle note. I'm going to mix the two together like this. Now I was watching a YouTuber, one of my favourite YouTubers, a guy called John Cordy, who's a fantastic player. He's really good at getting great sounds out of the gear as well. And it's definitely worth checking out. And I noticed a few weeks back, actually, I was watching his channel and he's very fluid with his playing. And I noticed he was doing exactly this idea. He probably knows that he's doing that idea, and but he's very good at doing it very fluently, and he can move in between patterns as he does it, like this. Move over to another pattern maybe. You might stay there for a bit. Something melodic, and then maybe run up another pattern. So he's moving in and out of patterns, stopping, coming up for air, playing a little melodic thing or something pentatonic. But he's throwing in this lick quite a lot, I've noticed. I think it's one of his go-to favourite licks, but it always sounds really fluid. And you can kind of get that smooth sound by using a legato as well. With the other idea, the kind of John McLaughlin thing, it's more staccato by the very nature that we're picking everything. I always say don't just learn a lick, learn from a lick. So if there's something else you can get from that, I mean, you can apply it to all of the scales you can think of, anything with 3 notes per string. You could even take a pentatonic scale and just add notes to it. You can add little passing notes or extra notes. Most of those notes will probably belong to some kind of scale, but it could just be a passing note or a chromatic note. So other variations of this, when I come back, because I find that these are a little bit less comfortable coming back. That doesn't mean I shouldn't practice them, but what I like to do is mess around with different combinations of kind of interrupting the scaly sound. So I might do something like... So what I'm doing there is, actually I don't know what I'm doing there. I think I ran down 4 notes of the scale, and went back to that previous string and played a little hammer and a pull. And I can do that anywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, back. Hammer pull, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I do it very occasionally. And it just breaks up the scale. Now, as always, it's a good idea when you're practicing something like this to try it with some kind of drum beat or metronome or whatever. So let's do that now. This is 128 beats a minute, so it's key of C. You don't have to do it that fast, you can go. Now let's try it with some kind of backing. So this is in C sharp minor, which is the same as the key of E. So I'll play an E major scale. Maybe pentatonic. Different scale. Still in C sharp minor, but using a different pattern. I could come down here to this C sharp minor. Pentatonic. Obviously that wasn't pentatonic. Anyway, I hope that little neat trick was useful to you. If so, please click like and subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.